Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 57 of Preston Jensen's podcast. If you're new here, I'm your host, Preston. If you listened to last week's episode, Chelsea and I talked about our lake tradition and the vacation we go on every year with my family. And I'm back from that vacation. And I got to say, it was a great vacation, one that I was able to spend a lot of time with my family doing a lot of fun stuff. I'll never forget it the rest of my life. Those types of vacations are priceless. If you want to find out more about what we do as a family, listen to last week's episode. I thought it was even more valuable this year because not only did I get to spend a lot of quality time with my family, but I got a chance to reflect on what we've been doing here with this podcast over the last, this will be 57 weeks straight. Gave me time to think about how far I've come as a podcaster and how far I've come as far as public speaking goes, talking to the camera, getting more comfortable with that. When I started this podcast, it was just the audio side of things using my Rodecaster Pro and my pod mic. Now I've upgraded the equipment, so I'm actually doing a video side of this podcast too. So if you guys want to see what this podcast looks like, you can go to Preston Jensen on YouTube and you can see the production side of things or the video of it as well. So with a vacation like that, it was fun to just unwind, unplug from the social media universe for 1 week. And man, I got to say, I thought I would step away from things and never want to come back to podcasting, but that was totally the opposite. After a week, I feel like it totally charged my batteries and it makes me want to podcast even more, make more content for YouTube. And it's unbelievable how many ideas you get when you're not just on the grind, doing the podcast, trying to make videos, scouring social media sites for new ideas, looking at YouTube, trying to think of the next big thing. It seems like your brain just kind of resets, and that's exactly what it did for me. I had a lot of fresh new ideas for my drone business, a lot of fresh new ideas for my podcast. It kind of got me thinking, hey, would I want to start another podcast in the future? It seems like this podcast kind of follows a lot of my interests. It might be kind of fun to have a podcast in the future that is a little bit more specific on sports for me. Sports are a huge part of my life, and I don't really get to talk too much about sports in this podcast, although maybe I will in the future. We'll see where this goes. But on another note, I want to say happy Prime Day to all of you. For those of you who do not know, today was Prime Day, and if you were uninformed, don't worry. Tomorrow is also Prime Day. They've got 2 days of deals on Amazon. I know a lot of them are lightning deals, so some of them may be gone by the time you listen to this. Usually, in years past, I am constantly looking through Amazon, trying to find the best, latest, and greatest deal. This year, it was a little bit different for me because I was looking for one specific item, so I was able to go onto Amazon, filter my searches through Amazon Prime, and to my surprise, the item that I was looking for was on Prime deals, so I did order an Elgato Stream Deck. I feel like that'll be something that'll really help me on the video production side of this podcast. If you guys watch the video and you see me moving around on the camera and stuff, it's because I'm moving my mouse, trying to click through different scenes. If I'm doing overlays in Ecamm Live, I've got to kind of reach over, do the overlays, do the different scenes. I've got a big new monitor, so I've got to move my mouse all the way over to the other side, and I think the Elgato Stream Deck will serve a huge role in this overall production, not only in the live streaming part of the podcast, but also I feel like it's going to really help me on the Final Cut Pro side of editing. I've seen a lot of great videos on how to streamline your workflow using the Elgato Stream Deck, and I'm very excited to see what I can do with the macros involved in that software. So yeah, it says it'll be delivered Wednesday. We'll see. I'm very excited for that. If you want to learn more about the Elgato Stream Deck, maybe in the future, I'll be doing some videos on that to let you know how it's working with my workflow and just what kind of things I'm able to accomplish with that as far as the editing and the podcasting things go. And then I was thinking, you know what? It works great for those type of things, but you know what? Maybe I'll like to use it in my work environment on my day-to-day activities. Maybe I'll be able to streamline some of my workflow stuff at my actual job. So we'll see if it's that good a product when I get it. I've seen a lot of reviews and they're outstanding. So I hope I have the same experience as a lot of people who have good reviews on it. Another thing that I was very excited about over the past week, and I talked about this in my episode with the Lake Tradition with Chelsea, is Chelsea and I have a dream goal of someday owning a cabin in Minnesota. Now, is that a good goal? Who knows? Real estate in Minnesota is very expensive right now. Taxes are very high on lake cabins. And we've always thought, you know what, it would be awesome to have our very own, although I see both sides of it. On one hand, it would be fun to have a cabin to go to every weekend. On the other hand, it would be nice to not have a cabin to go to every weekend, because most of the time you're going to those cabins, it seems like it ends up being a lot of work. It seems like there's always grass cutting to do, putting in the docks, taking the docks out in the winter, winterizing the cabin, all that type of stuff, when what we've been doing our entire life is going for 1 week a year and renting cabins. And the fun part about that is you're not stuck to one place. You get to experience different parts of Minnesota, different lakes. You get to try different fishing areas. It's kind of fun. And then when you get there, there's absolutely no work. You just get to go there and enjoy. And this last week, we had a lot of fun. We got to see another part of the lake that we had never seen previously. There was like a hidden lake that we had time to explore. And if you own your own cabin, you might not have that time to do the exploring because you're probably going to be doing work. But I thought it was funny because Chelsea and I were out on a boat ride and we came across lake cabin. I'm always scouring Zillow for the lake that we go to, and there's never, ever cabins that go up for sale on it. It seems like if someone buys it, they keep it, and they pass it down from generation to generation on the lake that we go to. But we were driving along on the boat, and I spotted a cabin for sale, and I thought, from the water, I thought, oh, it's not the most ideal position on the lake. There's a potential that we could maybe afford this one, maybe purchase it and then work on it over a few years. But we were pretty shocked to find out that cabin was selling for $650,000. So no, we will not be buying a new cabin. But it got me thinking, would I like to buy a cabin, or would I like to buy a lot and then build something on that? And while I was on vacation, I didn't totally disregard social media, and I was watching Unbox Therapy do, it was just basically a clip of his podcast, but he talked about a company called Boxable, and it seemed like a very good company. I'm going to show you guys that company right now. I'll go to the website here. It is a portable house that can be set up in less than 1 day. And I thought, man, this would be the perfect alternative to a lake cabin. Buy a piece of land and maybe move one of these on and have a lake cabin in, like it says, less than 1 day. And literally hours is what it talks about. And it was such a cool concept that I did a lot more research on it. And it seems like it's a new company. You're able to kind of reserve your spot now. If you you're able to do that for free, it looks like on their website. But if you put your name in for free, you're always kind of at the end of the list. If you put a down payment on it, kind of holds your spot. And if you pay for the whole unit up front, it'll kind of bump you to the front from what I'm reading on their website. It seems like such a cool design, and I think this company is out of California, if I remember right. So there's a lot of things I'm curious about on it. It's fully furnished. It comes with a kitchen, a bathroom, a bedroom, living space, ultra low utility bills, it says. It says it's got insulation technology and included LED lighting that saves money every day. And the one I was looking at is called the Boxable Casita. And what's cool about it is it's only $49,500. Now, to me, that's a lot of money. But in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at cabins, and most cabins are 400,000 plus, or if you're looking for a cabin that would be in my price range, a lot of the cabins don't even have running water or a bathroom. So this would be a very cool alternative. However, there's a lot of questions I want to know, or I'd like to get answered before I just dive right in. If they're designed in California like it's looking like, will this insulation hold up to the North Dakota or Minnesota harsh environments? We've got very warm winters. We've got very warm summers, very cold winters. And it would be interesting to see if these things can hold up to that. Now, another cool part about this boxable home is that in the future, if you've got a boxable casita, in the future, if you want to expand on that, you can just stack these on top of each other, or you can put them side by side and create a bigger structure. Because really, this casita is only 375 square feet. Now, there's a new phenomenon. Everyone's wanting to get the tiny homes. Everyone thinks it's cool to rent a tiny home on Airbnb. And personally, I think that it would be cool to rent one of these things. But I don't know if I'd like to have it as a cabin forever, just because it would be so tiny. A lot of times if you have a cabin, you've got a lot of toys that go with going to a cabin. You've got a boat. You've got some people have a lot of fishing equipment. Some people have a side-by-side. So you'd almost have to have a storage building to go along with this. But it seems like a very cool alternative. And what they say is it seems like they're trying to solve the housing shortage. And it seems like this could be a very cool way to do it, because they're able to manufacture all these pieces, this whole home, in a warehouse, and they're able to ship this on, let's see, there's something special about the shipping. So it's able to collapse down into a very small footprint, so they're able to ship it much more easily than like a modular home or a trailer house. So it's something very cool to keep an eye on in the future. I can't wait to see more about it. I've seen a few videos on YouTube where they give a tour of it. It seems like the place is built with the most quality features. It seems like all of the fixtures and the kitchen finishes are very high end, but everything looks great on camera. It would be nice to see one of these in person set up and see just what the quality is. Also, it'll be interesting to see how quickly they'll be able to develop these, and if they're going to be able to ship them to other states like North Dakota and Minnesota. We're probably a ways out to being able to get these on the market, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. So I had a lot of cool thoughts. That was just one of them as I was thinking about lake cabins, and I thought I wanted to share that with you. Some of the other things I was thinking about with this is it would be a great idea to maybe create a little village with these casitas and maybe create a business out of that with Airbnb. I've told you guys in the past that having an Airbnb business would be a lot of fun for me. It would be something you could do on the side from your regular job. A lot of people are doing Airbnb with just like the yurts or tenting or glamping sites. And this would be a way to have a little bit more permanent solution and something that hopefully could be used year-round in the harsh environments of North Dakota and Minnesota. So I want to know what you guys think of this, or if you guys have seen any other solutions for the housing market. I know in the past I've looked up 3D printing of homes. That seemed like it was the big thing a few years ago, where they would have a giant 3D printer using a cement compound to 3D print homes. A few years ago I heard about it. I haven't heard too much about it since. I don't know if that's just because of COVID, or if that's just part of the economy, or if that technology is dead, or if it could be thriving right now and I don't even know anything about it. But I'd like to know what you guys think on this boxable concept, and also what you guys think of other solutions, and some ideas that go along with it. So that's basically all I had tonight. I just had a few things I wanted to get off my mind. 57 episodes in. I'm very excited on where this podcast is going. I've reached out to a lot of cool guests. I've got a lot of fun stuff planned for the future. I know this is a short podcast, but that's all right. This is my podcast. I can keep it as short or as long as I want. Just coming back from vacation, getting back into the swing of things, and kind of getting back in the groove. So for those of you who want to check out my other content, you can go to jensenairllc.com if you want to find out more about my drone business, or you can just go to prestonjensen.com, and from there you can see all of my social media accounts. You can see a link to my drone business there. I've got some fun stuff planned for my drone business in the future. Maybe expanding a little bit more into the media side of things. So not only drone stuff, but maybe photography and making client videos as well. That's been another fun side gig for me. And it seems like I keep getting myself more involved in all these little side things, but that's what I like. I like to stay busy. I like to constantly be bettering myself, constantly be pushing myself to the next limit, and hopefully I'll break through all these limits and keep thriving in everything that I'm doing. So thanks again for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love all the support, all the feedback I've been getting on this podcast, on my social media accounts, and my YouTube channel. I've been having a lot of fun interacting with people who have hopped online and typed in questions or gave me some support, and it's been a lot of fun meeting you. That's the best part about YouTube. That's the best part about podcasting, is the awesome community. Everyone's willing to help. Everyone's willing to share their story. And for those of you who are listening to this and you've got a story to tell, I always say everyone should have a podcast. Everyone should have a YouTube channel, because everyone's got a different story. And even if you think it's not very important or it's not very interesting, there's someone out there who will love to hear your story. I can guarantee that. So thanks again for listening, and stay tuned for future episodes. Thanks again. I got to jump in here and say A very special happy birthday to my wife, Chelsea. By the time this podcast is posted, it'll be her birthday. And I couldn't do any of this stuff without you, and I really appreciate having you by my side. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and here's to another great year.
I'm